Am I free? I am free. I stand on the backs of those who have gone before me. I am a successful entrepreneur and businessman. I have dozens of patents in my name. And I have founded multiple companies. And I am currently the CEO of a company called Solder Technologies. I invented and patented the world's first vaping and bullying detector. My devices are deployed globally in thousands of schools around the world. I'm often sought after for speaking about anti-vaping in schools. I've been on the Today Show multiple times, Good Morning America, MSNBC, CNN, Cheddar TV, and countless other national and local news broadcasts. Outside of me being a CEO/nerd, I have a love for sports. I'm a big-time sports enthusiast, and I love to compete at the highest level possible. But not only compete, I like to compete to win. There's virtually no sport that I don't think I can win in. And this drive this fire in me comes from me growing up being the smallest kid in my high school. I was often picked on and bullied. Though it was not right, it gave me the resilience to stand here before you and continue to fight. I graduated high school at the whopping height of 5'1" and 110 pounds. I was often sought after when it's time to stuff kids in lockers and give wedgies. I distinctly remember being choked out after music class, being pinned with somebody's hand through my throat, lifting me off my feet, while others mocked me and laughed at me as I cried for help and mercy. In college, I drank my milk, and I grew a foot in a year by my sophomore year, and I was able to walk on and play basketball for Stony Brook University. Although the rigors of academic life, I could not continue to play basketball, so I retired at an early junior year, and I went on to play intramural sports where I won many championships. In growing my company, I continued my athletic pursuits. I continued to play basketball, waiting for the New York Knicks to give me that call. But since they did not give me that call, I turned my endeavors into endurance sports, and I became a triathlete and a multi-time Ironman finisher. And for those who do not know what a triathlon is, it's where you have 3 events. In the case of an Ironman triathlon, you will actually swim 2.4 miles. You will then go ahead and bike 112 miles. Then after that, you finish a full marathon, 26.2 miles, totaling 140.6 miles in one day. Yes, pure joy. A lot of fun. And in doing so, again, I want to be the best I can be. I was looking to go to New Zealand with my family to race in the World Championship with aspirations of turning pro. The year is 2020. And we know what happened in 2020. A little small virus happened, and it shut down my race. Well, it didn't only shut down my race, it shut down the world. And as the world started to reopen in 21 and going into 22, and in 21, I started to play more basketball again. The gyms opened back up, and I started playing. Not only was I was playing with men half my age, in their 20s, thinking that this may be my opportunity that I can make it to the New York Knicks again. So therefore, I went out and bought a brand new pair of sneakers, these bright, shiny blue Kevin Durant sneakers, thinking that it's going to make me jump higher and run faster, just as when I was a little kid. Although I was playing at the highest level possible with basketball, I had a mishap happen to me. I tore a ligament in my thumb. And in my house, when we grow up, we were just told you tape it up. You only go to the doctor when you're sick or dying. So since I wasn't dying, I taped it up and kept playing. Now the time is April of 2022. My thumb looks like it's about to fall off. I said, well, it is time for me now to go to the doctor. Go see a hand surgeon. As I visited the hand surgeon, I did an MRI, and he says, yep, you need surgery. And I'm like, when? He said, you need it now. He said, you're going to be out of commission for 3 months. And in my head, I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. I still have many, many more days of basketball to play. I'm not willing to hang up my sneakers just yet. The surgeon said, you need to have this immediately, because we're not going to find the ligament once it goes back and repairs into your band. He said, I'll have my nursing staff call you tomorrow to schedule the surgery. The next day, the nursing staff did give me that call. And she said, I need to have the surgery in a couple of weeks, in the month of April. And I said, I pass. I'll do it in the summertime. The second I hang up the phone, the surgeon calls me. He says, what are you doing? You need to have the surgery immediately. I was like, Doc, I have no way of getting to the hospital. I will send a limousine to you, he says. I do not have a primary care doctor. After all, you only go to the doctor when you're dying, so I was not dying, so I did not need one. He says, you can use my guy, Dr. Marion Kameth. I said, okay, I'll go see him. The next day, I go see Dr. Marion Kameth. Dr. Marion Kameth takes out his stethoscope, and he listens to my heart like all your doctors do. He says, breathe. I took my deep breath. He takes the stethoscope, and he puts it on my back, and he says, breathe. And I breathe. And he says, 1 minute. He calls his partners in, and all these medical students come rushing in. And I like my attention, but even this was a bit much for me. Everybody had their stethoscope out and examining me. And finally, they all huddled together. I said, why are they huddling? Because then all of a sudden, I said, we think you have a problem with your heart. I said, my heart? They asked me, how do you feel? I said, I feel great. Today I was just deadlifting 405 and benching 315. I'm good. We want you to go to the heart center. We don't want you to go home. Do not go back to the office. Go directly to the heart center. So I said, okay. I enter in the heart center. The second I walk in there, they escort me like I was a movie star again. So what's going on here? They performed an emergency echocardiogram on me. And after the procedure, I was in the waiting room. And enters Dr. Polina, my cardiologist. And he asks, do you mind if I sit down? I said, sure, Doc, have a seat in my office. So he took a seat. Then the doctor proceeded to tell me, Derek, you need open heart surgery. And I said, you're kidding, Doc. Where are the cameras? He says, I am not kidding. He says, when do I need it? You need it yesterday. You have an aortic aneurysm that has dilated 8 centimeters. You are a dead man walking. I went back to Dr. K's office. And then going back to him, and when I walked in, Dr. K greeted me with a hug and says, don't worry. I got you. You are not dying on my watch. I will call my friend who's a top cardiologist surgeon in the world, Dr. Didier Lumet, and he will work on you. He will do me a favor. He called him that night, and although his schedule is booked out for months, he said he will see me. Dr. Didier Lumet was going to perform the operation on me on April 28th. And in between that time, between April 10th and April 28th, my mind continued to play tricks on me. Now the day has come, my big day. I've never been in the hospital, never been sick. I'm waiting there patiently, not knowing what to expect. I have thoughts in my head racing around. Am I actually going to be here tomorrow? I'm future tripping, not knowing what to expect. I'm supposed to have surgery at 11 a.m. It is now 3 p.m. The nurse comes in and says, it's your time. My heart sinks. She puts me in a wheelchair with my gown, and she wheels me towards the operating doors. As I saw the operating doors, I put my foot on the doors, and I said, hell no! I'm not going in. She then proceeded to fight back and forth with me. You have to go in. I don't gotta do shit. I'm not going in. After she finally calmed me down, she allowed me to enter the doors. When I entered the doors, I saw the bright lights and teams of people. I ran around that operating room like a raving lunatic, screaming, "You people are going to kill me." The next day, I woke up thanking God that I am actually still alive with all the tubes and everything in me. And with my mind still racing, but I made it. I am here. I survived. And with my leaving of the hospital, I was determined that I would continue to get back on my feet and be an athlete again. And the doctors informed me that the reason why I'm still here today is because of my athleticism. And in continuing to train to become the best that I can possibly be, I ran into some complications today. Just recently, the doctors had to put a chip in my heart, above my heart and my chest, to monitor how I'm doing. They can track me now and track my heart, and I get calls from my nurse basically on a daily basis. And in doing so, I'm continually fighting depression now. I continue to fight anxiety. I don't know if my next step is going to be my last step or my next breath is going to be my last breath. My mind is playing tricks on me. I'm enslaved by my mind. I'm a slave to my company. I'm a slave to my shareholders. I'm a slave to my employees. I'm a slave to my customers. But I am free. Am I free? Thank you.